Okay, everyone. Sorry for the delay here. We had some translation issues, but now I think if Roland, you can give me a thumbs up. Are we all eight translated? We're good. Okay. So there's a reversal on English and Slovenian that I kept fixing back and forth. And I will talk slow, as I always talk too fast. I'm going to introduce Dr. Fadwa here. I'm going to let you take over from here, but she'll be doing the call today. So thank you everyone for joining us. If you have any questions, I know Tiger's in the chat too. I'll be in the chat. So if anyone has any questions, you can speak in your own language. We can debell your comments and we can try to answer your questions as best we can. Thank you.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good evening, like Nurse Christie said. Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday. And it is truly an honor to be able to present today. On behalf of Dr. Ram, I'll be presenting her white paper. So let me just, we'll be talking about ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. And let's just get the medical disclaimer out of the way first. The information provided is for educational purposes and is not intended as medical advice or a substitute for medical advice of a physician or other qualified healthcare professional. You should not use this information for diagnosing a health or fitness problem or disease. You should always consult with a doctor or other healthcare professional for medical advice or information about diagnosis and treatment. So today we're going to be talking about Dr. Ram's white paper. What is a white paper? A white paper is basically a position statement from the author on a particular topic and solutions for that topic, and using supportive literature to make the claim as to why this topic is important, why we need to address it, talk about it, and why this particular protocol is the protocol of choice in managing this particular topic. That's what a white paper is. She wrote a 40-page white paper. If you're interested in reading it and looking at it, I think Tiger can put the link for you of where you can retrieve that paper. There are 3 cases being presented. Sorry, I just have a couple of Zoom would like to control this computer. Sorry, I'm getting some alerts on my end. There's some cases that are also documented in the paper. I will not be going over those cases today, just going over the topic as well as the protocol. Before I get started, I would like to share my screen on the patents. I think it's really important. In the last 2 weeks, Dr. Christina Ram has introduced to us that she's been approved for 7 patents so far and more on the way. And a US approval patent is really important, is a significant feat for an inventor. And we're trying as ambassadors, customers, any of you that are new today, welcome. And being able to verbalize and understand what patents are. So I want to just take the time to do that before I go into the presentation. This is one of her patents with Clean Slate that was approved. If you look at the title, the zeolite that Dr. Ram has used and continues to use is clinoptilite, and she was able to break it into fragments and to be used as a nutraceutical, a pharmaceutical, and for environmental toxins to absorb environmental spills, remediation. But what is interesting here is that it was approved as fragments. And her goal with it is when she fractures the zeolite clinoptilite, her goal is to hopefully use it to be attached to vitamins, minerals, to be used as a sleep aid, to be used as a tablet, a topical agent, and an IV form as well. So it takes several years to get approved for this. You have to prove that no one else has invented this before and that there is a significant problem and this is a solution to that problem. And she's been able to manipulate this clinoptilite to be used in various formulations, pore sizes, layering sizes, chemicals on it in order to attract the bad things and take it out and leave the good things in our bodies. I want to take the time to read the abstract. It'll just take a minute. So all of this makes sense to you. Methods and processes are provided to make cleptylite into a water-soluble form with electrolytes suitable for various administration routes for use in the detoxification and rejuvenation in the environmental arena, nutraceutical arena, and pharmaceutical arena. This process includes oral, topical, pill form, biotech delivery, and intravenous. Absorption of water-soluble cleptylite fragments can aid in the detoxification by binding to heavy metals, viruses, and environmental toxins, and can reduce reactive oxygen species, basically reduce oxidative stress, as well as reduce inflammation that is caused by toxins like metals. The process and method described can provide an increase in energy, an increase in growth factors, aid in hair, skin, and nail growth, and provide an increase in focus, concentration, and memory, which we're going to be talking about ADHD today. Water-soluble cleptylite fragments can be combined with one or more dietary supplements. As I mentioned, she's made these fragments to be able to be combined with vitamins and minerals and amino acids like tyrosine, tryptophan. She talks about passion flower, lemon balm, B vitamins to aid in sleep, rejuvenate the cells and the environment during and after detoxification. So get used to talking about the patents, become familiar with her patents. You can go to her website, drchristinaram.com, because really what we have here, what she's created is an invention, has not been created in the world.
Dr. Fadwa, could you scroll down slightly? We got a question to see the rest of the abstract.
The patent?
Yes.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I copied the abstract on a separate piece of paper. That's why I wasn't reading off of this. My apologies. As I was putting things together. And like I said, you can find this on her website, drchristinaram.com. You can take a screenshot of this if you'd like. Is this good?
Yes, that should be fine. Thank you. I think we just want to see it.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm not looking at the chat. And I want to share one other thing with you before I get started, just to emphasize, is this showing? Hold on 1 second. My apologies. Let me do it again. Share. Are we still seeing the?
No, you're good. You're on cleptylite properties in vivo.
Oh, okay. On my page, it's not showing up. 1 second with me. There it is. This was a study that was published. It's a review article. You can find it in PubMed. It's called the Critical Review on the Zeolite Cleptylite Safety and Medical Applications. And I just want to emphasize again, this is a pretty phenomenal zeolite. It has protective effects on the brain, detoxification, antioxidant effects, supports the microbiome, liver parameters, bone regeneration. And although it has all of these benefits, if you don't know how to use it, right, what does it matter? So the patents, again, I want to emphasize how important they are, that she's been able to take the beneficial elements of this zeolite and fracture it, break it into pieces, and pull out just the silica, leave out the aluminum, and be able to optimize on these benefits and various formulations of her product line. So now, let's get to the talk. As I mentioned, this is a white paper. This is her position statement on ADHD. So these are the slides that you will see are portions of her white paper that I'm going to read verbatim off the slide out of respect for the white paper, and I'll elaborate when I need to elaborate. Can you hear me okay? All right. I'm assuming you can.
Yeah, we're all good.
All right, excellent. So this is the white paper on ADHD. It provides a comprehensive exploration of how attention deficit hyperactivity disorder affects academic performance. It goes beyond impulsivity, hyperactivity, and inattention to understand ADHD as a neurodevelopmental disorder. What is really important about neurodevelopmental disorder is that as children are aging, as they're growing up, their brains are constantly under construction. There are actually studies that show that brain development does not complete until the age of 25. And so how you harness the brain development and give it the nutrients that it needs, that hopefully as they get older, they can grow out of ADHD, and many of them have. And if they go into ADHD as an adult, they'll be a more productive adult because we've given the brain the food that it needs throughout their years. or even if you're newly diagnosed as an adult. We have in the past 4 years, adult onset ADHD has become on the rise. It's probably the highest it's been in the last 4 years. And this will also serve the adult. It's never too late, is the point I'm trying to make, in neurodevelopment and harnessing some of the symptoms that happen that occur with ADHD. The paper discusses the impact of ADHD on a student learning, addressing the challenges students face or adults, offering potential solutions to improve academic performance. It provides a detailed overview of the prevalence of ADHD amongst children and its effects on educational experiences, setting the stage for exploring strategies to support success in school and individuals with ADHD. The overview is ADHD is a multifaceted condition requiring a detailed examination to understand its various dimensions. The paper explores ADHD through an in-depth analysis, focusing on how the disorder manifests across different age groups by using a case study approach. So what is a multifaceted condition? Dr. Ram will go in the paper and make the point that it's not just, they're hyperactive, they can't seem to focus, they're all over the place, they're not getting their work done. It's more than that. We're dealing with oxidative stress. We're dealing with inflammation. We're dealing with the immune system. We're dealing with neurotransmitter balance, dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, epinephrine, and the gut, right? The vagus nerve that goes from the head through the heart and into the intestinal tract. So that's that gut-brain axis that's happening there in order to get L-DOPA to convert to dopamine from the gut. So it's multifaceted. And that's why a lot of times if you use conventional medicine, Ritalin, Focalin, what have you, they become tolerant to these drugs because they're only focusing on one area of the problem instead of looking at the multifaceted approach to the condition of ADHD. ADHD affects approximately 5.3% of children and 2.5% of adults globally. The core symptoms include inattentiveness, hyperactivity, impulsive behaviors as defined by the DSM-4 criteria. Types of ADHD, there's three main types. There's the inattentive type, the hyperactive impulsive type, and the combined type, both of them together. And its impact on daily life affects daily functioning, relationships, academic performance, and career achievements. Co-occurring conditions. So there's other conditions that usually come alongside ADHD, usually anxiety or depression, learning disabilities. So it's not just ADHD, but it's usually ADHD and something else together. It also adds family and caregiver stress. Families and caregivers may experience increased stress, require support in managing the ADHD. Ongoing studies in neuroimaging and genetics are enhancing and understanding treatment options for this condition. And the treatment approaches include behavioral interventions, medication, personalized care plans to address individual needs. When you have a kid or even adult that's dealing with ADHD, you really got to plan your day. You got to plan what your triggers are during that day, so you can stay focused and calm and achieve your schooling or work goals. ADHD is a complex neurodevelopmental disorder. As I mentioned before, as children are growing up, you really need to harness the development of the brain. It takes until the age of 25 when the brain has completely developed. So it's always under construction throughout these years. Characterized by difficulties with attention, restlessness, and impulsive behavior. In 2023, researchers conducted a global review to better understand ADHD in children and adolescents, stressing the importance of using diagnostic tools that account for cultural differences. Some studies focused on specific groups, such as those with certain behavioral conditions, finding that ADHD often co-occurs with other psychological disorders. As I mentioned in the previous slide, a lot of children with ADHD also have anxiety or they have depression. Each child and adult is unique in terms of how they express their ADHD. Not everyone is the same. Research has also explored the link between ADHD and obesity in children, examining how weight is related to the symptoms. Additionally, studies in specific regions like Iran emphasize the importance of recognizing how ADHD rates can vary in different populations. The relationship between ADHD and autism has been studied, revealing the complexity of their co-occurrence. They come together. Other research has looked into the mental health challenges faced by adults with ADHD, showing how ADHD is often linked with other psychiatric conditions. Global studies have examined the prevalence in adults, highlighting the need for a better understanding of ADHD continues to affect individuals throughout their lives. These findings underscore the importance of ongoing research into ADHD across all age groups. Again, focus on that neurodevelopmental disorder. How can we harness our brain? How can we give the brain what it needs, but at the same time not irritate it with dealing with oxidative stress, inflammation, and a weakened immune system? We'll go into that in just a moment. So what are some of the characteristics of ADHD? It's a chronic condition such as inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. Inattention involves difficulty in maintaining focus and persistence, which can affect academic and work performance. Hyperactive includes excessive movement, fidgeting, and talking, often at inappropriate times. And impulsivity refers to acting quickly without thinking about the consequences, which can lead to risky behaviors. Research has explored ADHD's complexity, especially its overlap with other mental health conditions, as I've mentioned before. For example, a 2022 meta-analysis examined ADHD in adults, highlighting the frequent co-occurrence of other mental disorders. As I mentioned, this is a white paper, a position on a topic with potential solutions. So you'll see here that Dr. Ram has used other studies to support the importance of managing ADHD and how it can be almost like a disability for a lot of people in achieving their goals and their purpose. So she's quoting some studies here. There was another study in 2021 that focused on the co-occurrence of ADHD with other brain disorders, particularly in individuals with both ADHD and autism, spectrum disorder. So again, emphasizing the importance of creating a personalized treatment plan for these patients. Or overall, ADHD is influenced by various factors, including comorbid conditions and a global prevalence rate. So it's worldwide. It's not just an American thing or located in Iran or what have you. We are all dealing with the same risk factors of having a neurodevelopmental compromise of ADHD, symptoms of inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. Trying to see, I'm not going to keep repeating. In the mid-20th century, the term minimal brain dysfunction was used, attributing to antisocial behavior to subtle brain dysfunction. This perspective laid the groundwork for considering ADHD as a developmental disorder. In the 80s, ADD was included in the DSM-3, so attention deficit disorder without the hyperactivity, recognizing attention problems as the key aspect. Subsequent additions facilitate the differentiation of ADHD subtypes. So again, not everyone's the same. Advancements in understanding ADHD continued into the 21st century, with scholars exploring brain development. So as I said, our brains don't completely develop until the age of 25. And so we need to harness, it's under construction all these years. And how do we harness that so children are growing into their milestones in terms of thinking, reacting, balancing the neurotransmitters, ensuring the immune system in the brain is being catered to, as well as controlling oxidative stress and inflammation. Understanding the historical transformation of ADHD is crucial for contextualizing current perspectives. Initially stigmatized, ADHD is now viewed as a disorder that deserves understanding and rational treatment. Recognizing this historical context can contribute to breaking the stigma around ADHD and fostering empathy among those affected by the disorder. Epidemiological studies are essential for understanding how common ADHD is, where it's most prevalent, and what might cause its different populations. For example, a review provides a global look at ADHD, highlighting the importance of considering cultural, social, and economic factors to complete the picture. Demographic factors like age, gender, social status, cultural, play a significant role in how ADHD presents itself. Studies show that ADHD affects males and females differently, more common in males, which underscores the need for diagnostic and treatment approaches that consider these differences. Additionally, a global study highlights how ADHD continues to affect adults, stressing the importance of understanding how the disorder persists into adulthood for better management. Looking at ADHD from a historical perspective, from early behavioral observations to modern neurodevelopmental theories, shows how our understanding of the disorder has evolved. By studying different regions and demographics, researchers can better understand how common ADHD is and its impact. This knowledge helps healthcare providers create more effective, culturally appropriate treatments tailored to the needs of the different societies. So let's go into the ADHD protocol. So to summarize, ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder. It's a multifaceted condition that deals with not only the development of the brain, balancing a neurotransmitter, microbiome, specifically the gut, but the entire microbiome, as well as oxidative stress and inflammation. I like to repeat things because it helps it helps, at least for me, put the condition in perspective, right? So we went over the patent, how important the patent is. We're going to talk about the role of clinoptilite in just a moment, and how we want to approach ADHD as a multifaceted condition. And when we do that, you give the body and the person who's dealing with it a greater chance of overcoming some of the obstacles of the symptoms that are correlated with ADHD, the inattentiveness, the hyperactivity, and impulsivity of it. The ADHD protocol is a detailed system created to address the various aspects of brain function and ADHD management. It carefully considers factors such as neurological process, nutritional needs, and behavioral patterns. Each part of the protocol is examined in depth to understand its specific role and how it interacts with other elements. This thorough examination looks at how these different factors work together and affect each other. By understanding these interactions, the protocol integrates all components into a cohesive, effective approach. This ensures a well-rounded strategy for managing ADHD and addressing its complexities. Again, if we were to compare it to conventional treatment, right, like using Ritalin, Focalin, any of these stimulants, and conventionally we focus on one problem, right? We want to just get this kid to stop moving. We want to get him focused and get good grades. But we underappreciate in the conventional realm that they're also under extreme stress. They have comorbid conditions like anxiety, depression, and they're dealing with a great deal of inflammation and imbalance of bacteria, as well as imbalance of the neurotransmitters as they're aging. So all these things are to be taken into consideration. If we look at the components of Clean Slate, it's a blend consisting of 3 key ingredients, each playing a vital role in enhancing the therapeutic efficacy of the mixture. So silica, so we showed you the patent of clinoptilite fractured into orthobioavailable silica. This is now patented. It has 4 patents, US patents. And silica is a crucial component contributing to the overall health of connective tissues, bones, cartilage, tendons, brain development, and it acts as the fundamental component of the neural connections. It also contains vitamin C. Vitamin C is a potent antioxidant. We just mentioned that ADHD is a multifactorial problem, oxidative stress being one of them. Vitamin C is a vital element in Clean Slate. Its antioxidant properties are associated with resilience against stress induced by a neurological disease. In context of ADHD, the inclusion of vitamin C aims to uphold the structural integrity of the neuronal elements, potentially by preventing cognitive dysfunction. So as we're trying to provide removal of toxins for these kiddos and adults and give them the brain functioning benefits of silica, we also want to help put at bay the oxidative stress and inflammation as well. There's trace minerals in Clean Slate, and it enhances the biochemical flexibility of Clean Slate. Micronutrients like zinc, copper, selenium, they're crucial for various bodily functions, contribute to the neurotransmitter formation, enzyme functionality, and overall neurogenesis. So trace minerals are kind of like at the top of the layer of systems within our body. So if we looked at like the Krebs cycle, for example, that's in the mitochondria, it's a circle like this. The Krebs, I call it a wheel. It's an energy wheel, but it comes with layers of trace minerals, then the B vitamins, and then you have the enzyme metabolism in there, so you can make NAD and move from B1 to B5. You can't do any of that if you don't have trace minerals supplying that food for those systems. So that's why Dr. Brown wrote it in that way. It helps with neurotransmitter formation, enzyme functionality, and overall neurogenesis, making more neurotransmitters in the brain. Influencing cognitive performance. The blend's potency is amplified by the inclusion of trace minerals. And then we have zero in. One thing I'd like you to keep in mind as well is that we are stacking here. So every ingredient in the protocol, the ingredient itself and the protocol itself are being stacked. So if we look here at Clean Slate, it's silica stacked over vitamin C, stacked over trace minerals. When we go to Zero In, the same. We have N-acetyl, a bioavailable form of tyrosine, N-acetyl L-tyrosine, which is stacked over L-theanine, which is stacked over velvet bean, which is stacked over pine bark, over curcumin, and so forth. So there's a stacking process that's happening here in order to gently meet those multifactorial issues that are happening with ADHD, not just the symptoms, but all the things underlining those symptoms, the stress, the inflammation, the microbiome. So if we look at Zero In, which is a dynamic nootropic, it's a supplement designed to manage ADHD through selectively integrated components. So N-acetyl L-tyrosine is the most bioavailable form of tyrosine. It's a precursor of the neurotransmitters of dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, and epinephrine. And then you have in Zero In L-theanine and anhydrous caffeine on purpose combined together. If you ever do a literature search in PubMed, you will see one study after another showing L-theanine and caffeine being used together. And that's done on purpose because L-theanine is an amino acid that allows for calm, but caffeine is also used for focus and energy. But you don't want too much caffeine, you'll start having the jitters, and you don't want to be overly calm, you'll fall asleep. So they balance each other very well together to give you that relax and that calm. And then you have velvet bean seed. It's a crucial dopamine regulator, helps increase L-dopa from the gut to dopamine in the brain, and it manages overall brain function. You'll see a lot of these ingredients have similar functions. You know, it's like, oh, more dopamine, oh, more calm, oh, more serotonin. That's done on purpose. So it's not, it's giving food to the cells. So all these signaling properties that are in the body, they're all functioning to make these neurotransmitters or to balance the microbiome or to deal with oxidative stress can work harmoniously together. It's like a symphony. So you don't just give one supplement just to target oxidative stress, but what you do is you take the benefits of all these ingredients so they work together. So we had that beautiful symphony in the body, managing all these areas at once and not one faster than the other, but simultaneously together.
Dr.
I,
Fadwa,
yeah.
real quick, you're going a bit fast for some translators. Very good. I do the same thing all the time. Also, we're getting some complaints. Is there more to the slide after vitamin D on its conclusion is also linked to?
This one here.
Yeah, because some people were getting complaints about vitamin D. Yeah, it goes
Yeah,
past the slide a little bit.
yeah. So yeah, tire compact it nicely to
So if
keep the
you want to
concept all
just
in one
make it
place.
a little bit smaller on your screen, Dr. Fadwa, because I have my spacing fixed on mine. You just,
Oh,
whenever you downloaded it, it messes with your spacing. So a few of your other slides are gonna have the spacing off like this as well. So if you just want to make the text just a little bit smaller, it'll fit on the screen.
absolutely. I'm sorry about that. I honestly didn't even realize that happened.
No, it's okay. It's because I make them in Canva, and whenever I export them from Canva, the spacing's always jacked up.
This also was not an issue. There's just the past two slides had very small information that wasn't on the slide itself.
Okay.
So everything else is fine.
Is every okay? Let me make these
And also
adjustments.
chat, keep doing what you're doing. If you have any issues, any
I don't
questions,
know
keep
why
putting on the
they
chat and Tiger and I will keep looking at that.
Yes, please do because I can't see. I mean, I see chat, but I don't see people chatting.
Mhm.
Sorry. Let me get this to a better place for you guys. I apologize about that. Thank you
No,
for
it's
your
perfect.
patience with me. Is this better this way?
That's perfect.
Okay, okay. So we have pine bark, and I'll just keep it like this. Plus, I have my notes too, so that will help me so I don't forget anything. Um, Pine bark introduces antioxidants to combat oxidative stress associated with ADHD. This helps maintain neuron health, preventing oxidation from harming the body and aiding concentration and learning. And then we have curcumin. That's used for the anti-inflammatory properties and is extracted from turmeric. It aims to manage inflammation processes that contribute to ADHD, creating an optimal environment for brain development, brain function. And we have vitamin D. It's essential for overall health. It plays a role in the immune system, bone growth, modifies neurotransmitter actions. Its inclusion, oh, no, I already mentioned bone growth. Okay, went a little bit faster than I meant to. I hope I'm speaking a little bit slower for you there, Roland. I apologize. Again, let me reemphasize that the point of the protocol is stacking, both within the product itself. You can see how Dr. Ram has stacked one ingredient on top of another. That's why it's listed this way purposely. It's not listed as vitamin D first on purpose. It's listed N-acetyl L-tyrosine first, because that is the process of the nootropic benefits, and it goes from one to another. And then we have Restore. Oh, look at this. Hold on with me. Let me fix that for you.
And while she's doing that too, I want to point out that zero in on the box for actual nutritional and supplemental facts does start with vitamin D and anhydrous caffeine next, but then after that it goes into proprietary blend, exactly like she just mentioned that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. And then we have Restore. Again, this is all published in the white paper as part of the protocol for ADHD. So it's not just about Trinity and the vagal support, but this is actually a potential protocol for ADHD on purpose, documented in this way. Restore is a dynamic beneficial component of ADHD therapy consisting of black seed oil, resveratrol, turmeric, raspberry ketones, apple cider vinegar, aloe vera, and D-ribose. Black cumin seed oil is anti-inflammatory properties and is derived from the Nigella stevia. It contains compounds that aid in inflammation and protect the neurons. Again, you see that same concept over and over again, that multifaceted approach, but gentle, in a gentle way. And is crucial in the ADHD protocol for addressing neurochemical imbalances. It manages inflammatory pathways and neurological disorders, creating a conducive, excuse me. Resveratrol functions as an excellent antioxidant. So here we're getting more of that oxidative support. It's found in plants like grapes. It protects neurons and addresses oxidative factors associated with ADHD. Resveratrol's neuroprotective function counteracts the oxidative stress, a factor that may worsen ADHD symptoms. We also have turmeric in Restore. It's a golden colored herb with a history of medicinal use and imparts anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective properties to restore through its active compound, curcumin. Curcumin in turmeric controls inflammatory cascades, aiming to influence how ADHD manifests. So if you can control the inflammation, if you can reduce the oxidative stress, you give the brain relief. It has time now to develop that neurodevelopment that needs to happen for these kiddos and adults, and balance out the neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, to give the focus and alertness and yet the calm that is needed to achieve your goals. It contains also raspberry ketones, aids as a metabolic layer to the blend, and is derived from red raspberries. It supports metabolism, indirectly improving overall health. So we need things to break down in our bodies, the enzymes that break down and convert to active metabolites. So it's important to have an ingredient that supports the metabolism process. Apple cider vinegar is included for digestive benefits, supporting the gut health. The beautiful thing about Restore, it helps to also seal up those tight junctions of our gut, right? All of us have a certain degree of leaky gut, those junctions that are wide open and allowing toxins to go through. Restore's benefits is to help tighten up those junctions, keep the bad things in the intestinal tract so you can remove it, and remove further detoxification, as well as helping with oxidation and inflammation. Aloe vera is also for gut as well, soothing anti-inflammatory properties, and D-ribose. D-ribose is quite an interesting ingredient. It's a sugar molecule, helps with energy production, and it provides energy for ATP. So it's so important to give our mitochondria the support that it needs as well, because you really can't control oxidative stress without a healthy mitochondria, and D-ribose helps with that as well. And natural barrier support. It's not just used for when you're having, the sniffles or you're coming down with the flu, but it's also the components of natural barrier support help to be a catalyst and complement the Clean Slate, Zero In, and Restore. It has antioxidant properties from the vitamin C to contribute to immune health, eliminating the free radicals, enhances function in various immune cells. And like, I don't remember if I mentioned before, but our brain has its own immune system. The cell structure of the immune system in the brain are called the glial cells. And the glial cells are quite sensitive, actually. And when I say sensitive, I mean it doesn't take much for the glial cells to be irritated and start having inflammation in the brain, swollen brain. We call it neuroinflammation. So vitamin C plays a vital role in ensuring that the immune system in the brain, the glial cells specifically, are getting the support that they need. Zinc sulfite. Zinc is a natural barrier support, serves as an immune system helper as well. And it's an essential micronutrient in supporting enzymes and proteins for robust immune function and normal brain function. It also helps with neurotransmitter production and support cognitive functions. And then we have vitamin D again. Vitamin D helps with bone health, immunomodulatory effects, neurotransmitter effects, demonstrates a dual impact on immunity and neurons, and enhances the body's protection against infections. Natural barrier support recognizes the complex dance between vitamin D, immune cells, and neural considerations for supporting individuals with ADHD. All right. So again, let's talk about that multifaceted components, the rationale behind ADHD. The protocol employs a sophisticated approach, likened to a sophisticated brain soundtrack, designed to address various facets of ADHD. Like I said, you want your body to be like a symphony, and that symphony deals with cell signaling. And in order to support cell signaling, you have to be able to give stacked micronutrients that are gentle, but yet effective to feed into those cells and those systems. Because ADHD is not just about, as I mentioned before, being inattentive or hyperactive or impulsive, but it's also about the oxidative stress that these individuals are under, the inflammation that they're under, the neural swelling that they're under, the imbalancing of the neurotransmitters, especially as they're growing. Dopamine, as a matter of fact, is the primary neurotransmitter that has the highest level in children until they get into their late teens, and then serotonin will start reining that in, gabapentin will start reining that in. So having a food-based nutraceutical like this that is not synthetic and completely clean to be able to not allow dopamine to have its own course in their brain, correct? So Clean Slate contains silica for neural resilience. Vitamin C is an antioxidant that's in Clean Slate against oxidative stress. And the trace minerals, as I mentioned, trace minerals help to feed into those multi-layered systems in the body. Your B complexes, your enzymatic reactions, your metabolism. Zero N includes the most bioavailable form of L-tyrosine for neuron production, and anhydrous caffeine and theanine are studied together on purpose to be combined to offer the focus and the calm. They work very well together for the heightened alertness and focus. The velvet bean seed and pine bark contribute to dopamine production, while curcumin and vitamin D offer anti-inflammatory and overall health benefits. And then we have Restore, incorporates various ingredients like black seed oil, resveratrol, turmeric, raspberry ketones for metabolism, and apple cider vinegar. And don't forget the D-ribose to give the ATP production, to feed into that ATP production of the mitochondria. And then we have natural barrier support, serves as a nice catalyst to support the three ingredients of Clean Slate, Zero In, and Restore. Again, reaffirming that antioxidant, immune enhancing, nerve signal support, as well as vitamin D3, essential for bone and immune health and functioning. Excuse me. Okay. So we're almost done. So factors impacting the academic achievement in students with ADHD. Again, this is a white paper. Dr. Ram has made a position statement in the white paper. It's about 40 pages long on the topic ADHD and the protocol and studies supporting her protocol. This white paper thoroughly analyzes the factors influencing the success and challenges faced by students. As I mentioned, if you pull the white paper, it has 3 cases documented. We did not go over the cases today, just ADHD and the protocol. The research goes beyond academic issues, addresses the importance of the development and meaningful connections within the school environment. It also explores the significant impact of social factors, including relationships with teachers, peers, and the broader school system. The paper discusses ADHD symptoms and their correlation with academic performance, including challenges such as project monitoring, task completion, and adherence to schedules. It presents a real-life examples of students who have overcome academic obstacles and appropriate support, highlighting success stories. These examples illustrate the benefits of a comprehensive understanding of ADHD and the implementation of targeted strategies to help students thrive academically. In conclusion, this research introduces innovative multi-aspect methods in combating ADHD. Remember, it's a multifactorial condition. The phased interventions and personalized changes within the treatment plan make it adaptable to diverse manifestations. Case study success stories and Dr. Romm's white paper defy traditional notions of success, emphasizing that it goes beyond academic grades. The study advocates for an individualized approach, acknowledging the varying responses to ADHD and promoting overall health. The study underscores the significance of considering the whole individual and unraveling the complexities of ADHD. The treatment plan extends beyond symptom reduction, focusing on personal growth, resilience, and self-advocacy. Success stories narrate struggles and highlight the impact of overall wellness and combating ADHD. The research explores the multifaceted nature of ADHD through autobiographical accounts, clinical recommendations, and academic papers, introducing inclusive approaches and challenging stereotypes. As time progresses, the essence of holistic ADHD management becomes apparent, emphasizing support interventions that enhance both symptoms and overall health in the complex world of ADHD. Now, I know I don't know about you. I hope it wasn't too dry in presenting this, but I wanted to ensure that I honored Dr. Romm's paper as she wrote it, and then tried to explain and highlight areas of the slides to just kind of connect dots for you. Does anyone have any questions?
Nurse Chrissy, there you go.
Yes, of course I do. I'm curious to with regards to dosing on and dosing, and do we know the age group of the children involved in the studies, or have we established those kinds of parameters yet, or will we?
Dr.
Well, you
Fadwa,
can
I can
pull- you-
answer
you
this
can pull-
question if you want me to.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said I can answer this question if you want me to.
Sure.
So this case is already on ISNS and has been presented, I want to say a couple years ago at least. So all the information from the case studies is documented. We just can't go over those case studies on Root U, and we can't give out that information. So if you go to the links that I put in the chat, you can read the full information about the cases, but we just can't say any of that information on Root U.
Okay, and that would include the amounts of each of those.
It includes the protocol and the ages and the information of the background information of the cases. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then somebody in the chat was asking the white papers, so that is ISNS.
Yes.
What we're talking about, which is there a link for that in the chat yet? Did somebody, we could put it.
For what link?
The person who was asking about ISNS.
I'll go through the chat and I'll look, but all of this information is posted on ISNS. It was an ADHD case. I think there's 3 of them that go along, so it might not be in one single video, but I think they all cohesively go together. And then the links that I posted for the Primavera website, you can find all the information on there.
And Wendy Sims, I see also just repost that. I see the question you're talking about from Sophie, and Wendy did repost Tiger's links. So if you scroll up just a couple inches, you'll see those links.
And then can I just follow up on those calls that were done on ISNS? Maybe we have new members that were not around 2 years ago. Are those calls recorded similar to the Root U's, where they can go into the ISNS?
They're all on the ISNS website, but you have to be a professional member to view those. You can't be the bottom or the middle level. You have to have the highest level to see the case studies in the videos.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Tiger.
I think we have one more question, Dr. Fadwa, if you're
Yes.
okay with that.
Martina, so what do I do? Okay.
There you
there
go.
we go.
Hi, Dr. Fadwa. I don't have a
Hi.
question. I just want to tell you, Pearl, and we're very glad to have you in the community to represent Dr. Ram so well, even it was a try thing, but you presented so well and you showed us and make us understand what Dr. Ram was doing and the complex about it. I'm a German nurse. I love the products. I'm on the products for 4 years. Birgit Leiser is my neighbor. We love it. And I'm very thankful that you're there and you just done so good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that you being such a support for the community. And that's what I wanted to say to you. Thank
Oh,
you. Love you.
I love you too. It's my honor. I try not to make it too dry. So I'm glad it blessed you. Thank you so much.
That was the sweetest thing I've heard in a long time. I've been on a lot of calls with the company, and no one's ever raised their hand just to mention how much they love me and being part of the community. But Dr. Fadwa was amazing.
Thank you, Dylan. Thank
We
you.
will do it for you, Dylan.
You did a great job presenting today, Dr. Fadwa. I loved it.
Oh,
I think,
thank you. Thank you,
Birgit, do you have a
Ty.
question too?
I don't know how to help
I
Brigitte
got you.
answer her
Don't worry,
question.
I got you.
Oh, there you go. Okay, thanks.
Well, I was fascinated by how you explained the stacking, because this is what I always try to make people understand. Dr. Ram always says she puts things in a special order and in a connection to each other to work, and other products might throw in the same ingredients, but not in the beneficial mixture and stacking. And that word stacking is so good, I have to look for a German equivalent to explain what she does there with her biohacking and epigenetic approach with stacking. So they understand, not when they read the label, they have the real thing. It's what Dr. Ram won't tell, because then everybody would copy or try to copy. And this is important, that we have gold in our hands. And you explained it by the word stacking. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. That's why I appreciate that. That's why I wanted to go over the patent one more time, to just kind of start with a level playing field of, instead of saying like, they're developed by Dr. Ram, which is awesome, and how they're nanotechnology, nanoemulsion, proprietary blend, but also to say like, this is a US patent. Like, she's been able to take this zeolite and fracture it. So she got approved for the fracturing of it. And if you go down and read the patent, she specifically says, I want it to be able to attach to various vitamins, minerals. I want it to be able to absorb, like pull the bad stuff, but keep the good stuff, which is why I didn't show this slide. I was going to, and I didn't want to go off tangent, but she mentions a semi-permeable and permeable membrane. And that's important to realize that she made the pores, she utilized the pores in the zeolite to be able to keep the good things in, and be able to have the right size to pull out. And that just makes this protocol even more special when you can appreciate the patent design behind it, the invention behind it. So thank you for that.
Marina, there you go.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fadwa. Do you know how many students were involved in the study, just to get an idea?
Well, she documented 3 cases, but I'm sure there were more. But she documented 3 cases specifically based on different various ages. I think it was like 16, 9, and a 6-year-old, something like that.
Okay.
Or 16,
Thank you.
13, and a 6-year-old. Yeah.
Are there any other questions or comments? If so, raise your hand. You can put them in the comment section.
Dylan, I do have one thing. For everybody that's new to ISNS, we are doing a deal for a free membership for a year. So if you guys go to ISNS and click on the annual subscription for the professional, I would just say to get professional so you can see all the case study information. just click on that and use the code DRC and you guys can get a free 1-year membership. Sorry, I just wanted to add that.
No, you're good. I would actually recommend for anyone who's interested in this to do that, especially if you're in the root community, because there is a ton of information that you can digest, kind of like what Dr. Fadwa just did for everyone today, and you can really enhance your powers of expanding your root community based on the stuff we have here. And a lot of the stuff now that's been patented, it's on Dr. Ram's site. There is legit backing between everything, and so it's not just like what Dr. Fadwa said, a random product with a random stacking of ingredients, but there's backing between this that most products don't actually have. And I do have some more hands up. So Verena, you're already up there. So if you want to just go on with, do you have another question?
Yes, I've got another question concerning the ISNS access. Some people in my community have had difficulties. We have our password, our login details, but it has not been working for some time. So it has happened twice already in the last 6 months. So I'm not sure if there is a technical problem. I saved my password, so it's the correct one, but I still can't get into my account.
I think we're having an IT problem because that was happening with Dr. Fadwa and she had to delete her whole account and recreate it. So I'll go get with Wesley. If you guys could email me, if you have
I
like a
did.
list of people, can you just
Mhm.
email me again so I can give him their names so he can look into that?
Thank you, Tiger.
You're welcome.
Nurse Christy, another question?
Yeah, for Tiger, excuse me. I'm just wondering if that code applies if you already have ISNS membership and you want to upgrade to the professional.
So we can do that and it'll just extend. If you have one already, I can just give it to Wesley and he can extend it on the back end. So it'll extend for a year. But if you want to swap subscriptions, I don't know if you want to just cancel your other one and then use the free membership and choose the professional.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll have to
I
see.
just don't know. I don't know the difference between the different levels of the subscription if he can do that, but I'll ask him and I'll get back to you.
That will be a good question because I'm not sure if we can use
Yeah.
different codes for that. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jennifer, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Fadwa. Hello, Dylan. And hello, Tiger. Hello. Thanks for everybody, what you're doing. I appreciate it. And I think Nurse Christy just kind of asked my question. So like I currently have a middle with ISNS. So are you guys thinking about having me cancel that and then apply for the 1-year extension with ISNS?
Do you mean with
That'll
the
have to be a Wesley question that we'll have to determine in-house and then we can let you guys know.
can you
Okay.
can you also email Tiger? Because if we can, it'd be nice to just be able to apply that discount to upgrading your account. I just know there were some issues with we had another discount before and it didn't apply to the higher levels. It was only for the first level. So if you could email Tiger, we could get those questions answered pretty fast.
Perfect. And then could Tiger please put her email address in the chat real quick just to make sure we have it accurate?
It might take her a while, but I'm sure she can. It's just a really, really long email.
Oh,
Oh, she's fast.
all right. Thanks, you guys.
Awesome. We have just about 7 minutes left. Are there any more questions? Awesome. Well, I'll let Dr. Fadwa and Tiger kind of end this one out, but thank you everyone coming on. I did see some questions in here. These calls are translated and they are uploaded to YouTube. So what you've seen today, we'll get them translated properly and upload them to our YouTube channel for the root YouTube.
Yes, I was just about to say that, Dylan.
Awesome. Well,
All
thank you,
right.
everyone. I'm going to go ahead and end the call. If there's anything else, please reach out to us on our end, and we'll be sure to help any questions. Bye, everyone.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Dr. Fadwa.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.